Black Panther takes the fight to Moon Knight. Enough planning, time for a guerrilla counterstrike against Khonshu and Ra. Meanwhile, Killmonger and Aurora seek allies to aid their cause outside of Wakanda. So don't miss the big gun they call in. Ultimate Who? In Ultimate Black Panther Volume 1, Issue 8, a diabolical genius known as the Maker created his ideal Earth by systematically preventing anyone from ever becoming a superhero. To rule his perfected Earth, he placed supervillains in charge of different regions, and together the Maker's council quietly orchestrated the history of the world. Among them are Ra and Khonshu, who oversee Africa, all but the impenetrable, isolated kingdom of Wakanda. But when Ra and Khonshu planted an assassin within Wakanda's borders, King T'Challa was forced to send the kingdom into war. The war has raged for months. Khonshu has built an army that worships him as a god, calling himself Moon Knight, and empowered them with a mysterious, unstable element counter to Vibranium. Black Panther defends Wakanda, but he knows they're outmatched, and so has sent Storm and Killmonger in search of aid. We see more of Matron Imala's Premonitions from the Vodu-Khan come true. The scene begins with a battle between Wakanda and Moon Knight's new nation. Black Panther recites from the Book of Bast. The goddess will guide them to their better natures through the storms of violence and despair. Be mindful not to tear the fabric of the nation. Let no brother strike against another. Let no righteous tear fall upon the soil. Yet as T'Challa and the Wakandans fight against other Wakandans and Africans, they burn villages in the name of this battle, going against their own beliefs. More words from the Book of Bast are recited. You are my hand. You walk in my power. You shield them from your fear. The power was given to the Black Panther to protect, not to destroy, and yet he takes down Africans, as do the Dora Milaje, while innocents cry out in fear. As the Moon Knight gangs up on numbers on the Black Panther, they hit him over and over again. He recites more from the Book of Bast. You must endure the pain, meaning not to strike back at the Africans, though they believe something different. Black Panther says, you force my hand, as he clenches his fist. T'Challa's facing a moral conflict. On one hand, he believes, let no brother strike another, yet the things he seeks to prevent are still happening because of the war between the two nations. As people continue to strike each other and tears fall, T'Challa shields the innocent and endures their pain, trying to uphold his principle to the best of his ability. Black Panther then goes on the offensive, kicks two shoulders to create space, and says, very well, as he releases a sonic blast, knocking all the soldiers back. The Book of Bast continues. Those who follow you will mirror your virtue, your calm spirit, your grace. As the Black Panther T'Challa fights back, he sees the Dora Milaje reflecting his spirit in battle. They fight fiercely, even taking the lives of Africans caught in the conflict. Though Black Panther is meant to protect these people, war has forced them into violence. The moral weight of this battle weighs heavily on him as he grapples with the destruction unfolding around him. However, T'Challa knows that if he fights this war, his followers will do the same. This gives him the incentive to continue searching for a better way. If T'Challa becomes better, his people will inherently improve as well. Yet this doesn't change the fact that they are here and he must still fight. T'Challa knows that the war is necessary at times, but there will always be a cycle of actions and consequences tied to him and his people. The Book of Bast wrote, your pride as a sentinel of peace. Just then a huge Moon Knight warrior wielding a blade dipped in the mysterious one with a jewel at its center leaps into the air, first ready to deliver a Superman punch to the Black Panther. This substance is the opposite of vibranium. As the Moon Knight warrior lands another punch to T'Challa's head, it gives him an opening. Seizing the moment, the warrior catches T'Challa's leg and drives a blade forged from the mysterious green metal into Black Panther's leg. The Book of Bast continues and says, they will see you, Panther, and you will be loved. As this huge Moon Knight soldier proclaims, Khonshu brings illumination. Receive it, blasphemer. The mysterious blade remains lodged deep in T'Challa's leg. The Black Panther suits begins to decay and T'Challa screams out in agony. Matron Imala's premonition echoes in his mind, the vision that foretold he would scream in pain on the battlefield. Now it becomes a reality as T'Challa cries out, breathing in anguish amidst the chaos of war. This gives T'Challa a version of how vibranium and the mysterious green ore were born. We see two different worlds colliding with their debris making its way to Earth. This aligns with what Matron Imala told T'Challa about the origins of vibranium and the other elements when she described the falling debris as tears from the gods, with two of these trails finding their way to Africa. T'Challa follows one of these trails, leading them to a piece of vibranium. As he picks it up, immediately begins to change him. He screams again, just as Matron Imala predicted, a scream he once claimed would never happen. But now, much like what the Matron mentioned, this transformation occurs in his vision. Though not literally at this time, the vision shows him going through the changes foretold by the Matron, making T'Challa reconsider the Vodu-Khan's prophecy. Initially skeptical, he now begins to view Matron Imala as an advisor as her visions start to come true. One of the other premonitions from the Vodu-Khan was that he would form a bond with a woman of light during a war, which would lead to the birth of an heir, a child. T'Challa wakes up screaming as his wife Queen Okoye tries to calm him down. The last thing T'Challa remembered was the war, and he has been unconscious for 7 days. Queen Okoye says war makes new memories every day. She then adds 7 days of you crying and screaming and me lying to everyone in Wakanda because I was scared you were going to die. Once again, Matron Imala's prophecy has come true. Okoye had lied to the people of Wakanda, not knowing if T'Challa would wake up from his sleep. T'Challa says, I had visions, things I can't reason. Okoye then responds, they pulled this from your body, a gift from Khonshu, disciple. Perhaps it was poison. Black Panther replies, not poison, not by them. I need water. Okoye says, you need rest and you need to calm the lion inside your sister. She's marshaling our forces. She wants to attack Khonshu and Ra in your name. The words of a queen can only contain her for so long. T'Challa's thirsty, drinks his water and says, when I am unable to speak, the words of the queen are as strong as Bast herself. I'll talk to her. Queen Okoye responds, she is not in the mood to listen. T'Challa replies, and I am not in the mood to argue. T'Challa is not strong enough to talk to Shuri yet, who has a strong will and a strong personality, and sometimes Shuri doesn't listen. Then T'Challa says, I can feel it. Queen Okoye turns and asks, feel what? T'Challa points to the blade that was pulled out of his leg and says, I can feel it as if I could breathe. I can feel it, all of it. Our technology, the vibranium, it sings to me. Queen Okoye, doubting him, responds, you're not making sense. It's scaring me. In the last issue, we learned that vibranium and the green ore could be or are living entities, and we are unsure if vibranium is controlling or influencing the people of Wakanda. Black Panther then says, pick up the blade. The Black Panther says to Okoye, hold it, stretch out your arm. She does exactly that, standing still for a moment. T'Challa then reaches out his hand, and to her shock, the blade moves towards him on its own. The blade moves into T'Challa's hand. Queen Okoye, in disbelief, says, T'Challa, you willed it to you. Black Panther responds, no, I asked it. We have built a kingdom on powers we do not fully understand, and until we truly comprehend vibranium, Khonshu has the advantage. Without saying anything further, Black Panther drops the blade to the floor and tells Okoye, I need to be alone. After this, we head over to Killmonger and Storm. In their case, as seen in the Ultimate Black Panther issue 7, the two were sent by T'Challa to find someone who was both mystic and a scientist. We pick up with them somewhere in the Eastern Europe. T'Challa did not give them a specific location to find the master of sorcery and science. Suddenly, we see a man thrown across the room, crashing into the stack of bookshelves. We don't know who this man is, but he is clearly a man of magic. Killmonger says, you can keep this going or you can tell us what we want to know. The man of magic replies, telling you gets me killed. Killmonger then says, not telling us gets you hurt again and again, as Storm electrifies him repeatedly. Killmonger continues, we need someone skilled in the occult, more skilled than you, a magician. That's what we're here to find. The magician in pain says, you're wrong. For what you seek, you don't want a magician. Stop hurting me. The magician says, I'll tell you where you can find the Sorcerer Supreme, but you're going to have to kill a lot of people to reach him. Prior to this, we were told about the Sorcerer Supreme back in Ultimate Invasion when it all started. It was mentioned that he had been captured by the Maker and separated from the Eye of Agamotto. Next, Ultimate Black Panther Volume 1, Issue 9.